So the latest Simpsons Treehouse of Horror just dropped, and it actually kicks off with a mystery story. A local donut shop gets robbed, but get this, the thieves only made off with some cooking oil. Just as the chief is looking for clues, a massive hand suddenly reaches out from the sink and drags him right in. The legendary chief is gone, and the mayor is so heartbroken he can barely speak. From now on, the chief's position is being taken over by Lou, and Lou's very first order of business is a full investigation into what exactly killed our beloved chief. To do that, Lou tracks down a local sewer expert to help out. That man is Willie. For years, Willie has been obsessed with studying the sewers. He's watched these once perfect tunnels get polluted by people's disgusting grease until they became a stinking mess. All that dumped oil has clumped together to form the legendary monster known as the Fatberg. The problem is, this thing is hungry. It needs more and more grease until it eventually swallows the whole city. Now, we're out of options. This upcoming state fair is going to be 100 times greasier than every carnival before it combined. For the sake of public safety, the mayor has to decide. But Homer and Bart, being the biggest grease producers in town, won't hear a word about shutting the fair down. You tell him, "Dad, stop interrupting me. I'll talk to the boy in a bit." Just to stop the mayor from canceling the event, Homer brings a little gift from home, hoping the mayor will accept it. Seeing Homer's blatant bribe, Lou warns the mayor that if he ignores the people's safety, he'll be forced to use his authority as chief to shut the whole thing down himself. Once the fair kicks off, Lou is feeling pretty hopeless. This whole event looks peaceful on the surface, but there's danger lurking underneath. A monster could strike at any second. Lou's wife walks over and tells him to stop worrying and just enjoy the party. But things are about to get ugly real fast. Suddenly, the manhole cover behind Lou blasts into the air, dragging Fat Tony straight down into the abyss. Lou screams for everyone to run, and in an instant the party turns into a buffet for the monster. The monster sets its sights on Bart and Homer next. The Fatberg grabs Bart, and even though Homer tries to hold it back, he can't stop the thing from sucking the fat right out of the kid. Homer grabs a knife to cut the tentacle, but it's too late. Bart has been turned into a shriveled up husk. After bagging up what's left of Bart, Lou looks at the chaos and wonders why nobody would listen to him. Even now, Lou's wife is still trying to get him to enjoy the fair. Like anyone is in the mood for that. Wanting revenge for Bart, Homer decides it's time to make the Fatberg pay. He pulls out a massive machine and has Willie release a ton of grease to lure the monster out. The ground starts shaking violently, and the Fatberg finally shows its face, charging toward the grease. Lou tells Homer to fire the weapon immediately. It looks like Judgment Day has come for the town, but Homer isn't backing down. He's going to make the Fatberg pay once and for all. When even Homer, their best hope, gets taken out, Lou completely loses all hope. But wait, what happened? Is this just for the plot? Willie explains that even a monster like that can't handle the sheer toxicity of Homer's body. Honestly, the endings to both of these stories are pretty bizarre. Last time, we saw Maggie suddenly take over human civilization, and now the monster just dies out of nowhere. Regarding that last ending, I think it's incredibly ironic, but I don't want to overanalyze it. Let's save that for the very end as a little side discussion. This story's plot feels like a mashup of the movie Jaws and the movie The Blob. This Fatberg is definitely inspired by the creature in The Blob, but in that movie, it ate people, whereas our monster here just wants grease. Plot-wise, it's a direct nod to Spielberg's Jaws, with character parallels and matching scenarios. Character-wise, Chief Brody is basically Lou, while Willie plays the marine biologist Matt. And of course, the mayor is still the mayor, even his suit patterns are identical. As for the vibe, it perfectly captures that tension when Brody knows there's a shark in the water but can't tell the public. It's that high-stress moment, like that sudden scream that turns out to be a false alarm. Just like that, the danger is looming. And just like the movie, after a young boy is targeted, the scene descends into pure chaos. Finally, Homer channels the shark hunter Quint and gets eaten by the monster. As Homer charges at the beast, his battle cry is actually a parody of that line from Terminator when they take down the T-1000. But of course, it doesn't exactly go as planned. So, was that ending a tribute to the Terminator series? In those movies, they usually go down together. And in this case, the monster dies because of Homer's, well, Homerness. This segment is called Crisco. Calypso Now, which is a play on the title of the musical comedy The Last Days of Disco. For instance, at the start of the story, we see a disco club owner skating around to disco music. But getting back to the title, what even is Crisco? Well, it's actually a famous American brand of shortening. There are so many hilarious details at this fair, like deep-fried Oreos, Butterfinger balls, and even a parody of the Matterhorn bobsleds, which they called the Butterhorn. Then there's the double-fried Oreos and those deep-fried candies we mentioned before. Finally, let's look back at that super ironic ending from the last episode. Maggie said, "And so, plastic life took over the world and thrived." Doesn't that sound a lot like how settlers took over Native American lands to build what we have today? Then Maggie says, "We kept the humans around as long as we could, tucked away on reservations." This is exactly what the government did, forcing Native Americans off their ancestral lands and onto barren, desolate reservations just to seize their territory and resources. Then Maggie mentions naming sports teams after them, which pretty much confirms the metaphor. It's definitely a jab at how teams are named, like the famous baseball team, the Cleveland Indians, or the Washington Redskins in football. Beyond sports team names, what's even more ironic is how many pieces of military gear are named after them too. The Apache helicopter is named after the tribe from the Southwest. The Black Hawk helicopter is named after the famous leader, Chief Black Hawk. The Cherokee Jeep comes from one of the largest tribes in the Southeast. There are countless examples. Later, Maggie says that they eventually went extinct. While the people aren't extinct, their culture was pushed to the brink. The 1830 Indian Removal Act forced the 5 civilized tribes to relocate, causing tens of thousands of deaths. Their ancestral lands and sacred sites were completely stripped away. From the mid-19th century to the early 20th century, residential schools were used for deep cultural erasure. In 1892, law essentially legalized kidnapping children, with the army entering reservations to take them. If they spoke their native language, their mouths were washed with soap. Some even had needles stuck in their tongues. Their sacred long hair was cut off, and their traditional clothes were burned. They were forced into Christian baptisms and faced whippings and solitary confinement. Finally, Maggie stepping on Bart's head is the ultimate irony. Anyway, that's it. Please give the screen a long press and hit that recommend button. Don't forget to follow and like to support me. I'm working hard on the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.